welcome in to the wise woman, the inner cycle shifter. Now, this woman is representative of the perimenopausal woman. It's that time where your hormonal transitions are reshaping your energy, your mood, and your identity. I always want women to know that this is a natural phase. It's a natural transition of our lives from the energy of the mother into the energy of the wise woman. We are transitioning from our phase of doing and creating into our phase of reflection and slowing down, that coming within. And you may be feeling that, wanting more solitude time and time to yourself where you're reflecting and coming within. And this is a natural transition, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And even though it may be a difficult time for a lot of you with all of these perimenopausal symptoms coming through, it is a natural time. And the wise woman is about looking down at those deeper core roots of what is increasing these symptoms? What is driving these symptoms and my fatigue? Because our natural hormonal transition should be gentle. We should feel some changes and notice some symptoms, but we shouldn't be suffering and struggling on a day-to-day basis as we transition through this phase. Now, the core signs are those perimenopausal changes. So those hormonal changes with the fluctuations of estrogen. So estrogen tends to shift dramatically, and that slow decline of progesterone. Now, estrogen, as I said, shifts dramatically from high to low. So we're constantly on this roller coaster of estrogen highs and lows, whilst progesterone slowly lowers until we hit menopause. And both hormones are low after menopause, which is in line with our hormones before we hit puberty. So perimenopause is our second puberty. Now, it's the fluctuations in those hormones, that estrogen and the progesterone, that cause the symptoms that women dread. And it means that this transitional time can be feared and hated by women, which is sad because it's paving the way for a new life physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's a shedding and a letting go of the mother phase as we move into the wise woman. Now, this is where you will experience these symptoms, and I want to just let you know that sometimes these symptoms are exacerbated when they're driven by other causes. So you may experience the temperature sensitivity. So you may find that you no longer need a jumper in colder weather, or that you are having the hot flushes and the night sweats. There's the mood fluctuations, the brain fog, the walking into a room, forgetting why you went there, forgetting the words to something. I can often be looking at an object and saying to someone, and it's a broom, and I can be saying to someone, can you get me and I just can't think of the word, or I'll call it the vacuum cleaner, or, the dishwasher, or something really random. It's these kind of changes that are happening in our brain because of these hormonal shifts. And then there's the changing sleep patterns. So this could be not being able to get to sleep, waking up all the time during the night, that restless sleep, and then waking up feeling exhausted, which is what the archetypes are looking at. We're looking at these drivers of fatigue and why are you so exhausted? And the wise women, the wise woman, the inner cycle shifter archetype, is all about the fatigue during these hormonal changes, during this hormonal transition. Now, some women suffer more than others, and there could be many reasons why. That is a whole naturopathic consultation in itself. But this wise woman archetype reflects those natural hormonal changes whilst also considering what is driving the fatigue. Now, if you have also resonated with the survivor archetype, the high cortisol, wired but tired, and that dysregulated nervous system pattern, then you are going to resonate with those extreme patterns of the wise woman, the night sweats, the random hot flushes, the irritation and frustration, that wanting to stab people. And maybe some of those gentler symptoms also, such as wanting to go deeper within yourself, to learn who you are, and to set boundaries around your energy. Or you feel yourself shifting from an extrovert who used to love being around people and partying to someone who prefers their own company and solitude, or the company of other women who you can have deep, vulnerable conversations with. And this change can be uncomfortable as you feel yourself drifting away from people you have been close to for years, and you don't understand why their company doesn't energize you like it used to. This is normal wise woman energy. Now, if you are struggling with those intense physical symptoms, have a look at your stress levels. So, stress isn't just about doing too much, deadlines, financial responsibilities, relationship responsibilities. It's also about blood sugar regulation. It's about setting boundaries. It's about what you're eating. It's about, are you over exercising and undernourishing your body? All of these things cause stress in our body. Now, when our nervous system is dysregulated, it's directly connected to our hormonal patterns. Now, when I work with women who have hormonal dysregulation, particularly during perimenopause, but even with conditions like endometriosis and PCOS, more often than not, I don't work with the hormones themselves, but with those underlying drivers of the dysregulation, such as the nervous system, the gut health, and the diet, which could be driving nutrient deficiencies or causing inflammation, or even the liver, because the liver needs to be functioning well to detox our hormones. And I work in this way because if we don't change these underlying drivers, we are only band-aiding the situation. So you may find yourself having some gut health issues, some bloating, diarrhea, constipation, nausea, flatulence, all of the things. And if you are struggling with this, chances are you're experiencing these wise woman perimenopausal symptoms stronger and deeper than someone who doesn't have gut issues. So it's always really great to reflect on what is going on in your body and driving these symptoms. Now, there are some steps that you can start today, because I'm not here just to tell you what this wise woman archetype is about, but also ways that you can activate that nurturing side. And the first thing is prioritizing that blood sugar stability. Now, blood sugar stability is often related to diabetes. And we're not talking about diabetes, we're talking about keeping your blood sugar levels stable throughout the day. Now, stabilizing that blood sugar plays a key role in hormonal balance, because frequent spikes and crashes can disrupt cortisol, so our stress hormone, which affects our nervous system and how that's working and responding and reacting to stress. Blood sugar also controls and manages our insulin secretion, our thyroid function, and our thyroid is directly related to our metabolism and energy levels. And the blood sugar also affects our reproductive hormones, which is what this wise woman is about. Now, when blood sugar is steady, the body feels safer, energy is more consistent, mood is more balanced, and hormone signaling tends to function more smoothly. So, regular meals that include protein, healthy fats, fiber, and whole foods help reduce stress on the endocrine system, so our hormone system, and it supports that overall hormone resilience. Now, when we're looking at protein, I don't want you to stress out about how much protein you're having in a day because that's affecting your nervous system. But I just want you to be aware of, am I having protein with every meal? That could be an egg, that could be some meat, that could be uh, a really good quality protein powder. Now, I myself find it difficult to get a lot of protein in because I don't eat a lot. I have smaller meals before I'm fuller. And so sometimes it's difficult to get enough protein in throughout the day. But if you're making sure that you're having protein, particularly in breakfast, if you're making one change this week and you're making it about your blood sugar stability, then making sure you're having some protein with your breakfast, even if it's a protein smoothie. It's also important to make sure that you have something in your stomach before you have coffee, because coffee on an empty stomach is absorbed directly into the bloodstream, increasing your cortisol. So straight away, the day is starting with high cortisol and dysregulated hormones. One other thing I'd like to mention about protein is don't be sucked in by the marketing companies that label all of their products with high protein. High protein this, high protein that, protein water, protein bars. There are some good protein bars. There are some great protein powders. A lot of it is just marketing noise. So just be aware of what you're taking. So, maybe for lunch you're adding a tin of tuna into whatever it is you're eating to get that little bit of protein. So next, tracking your symptoms alongside your cycle. So this is going to tell you what your hormones and nervous systems are doing. And this is a great thing to do if you're wanting some support from a naturopath like myself. If I have that information in front of me about what your cycle's been doing over the last few months, then we can get a clearer idea of what's going on. Now, even if you no longer have a bleed because you've had an ablation or a hysterectomy, or you're using an IUD or the pill, for example, you can still track your cycle and see if there is a pattern. You can track your moods, digestive systems, your sleep. Are you getting headaches? What is your vaginal discharge doing? Your energy levels, etc. And you can see if you can uncover your energy and fatigue patterns. Now, magnesium. Magnesium is a foundational mineral for hormonal health because it supports the nervous system, blood sugar balance, thyroid function, and healthy cortisol rhythms. It also plays a role in PMS symptoms, sleep quality, muscle relaxation, and mood regulation. Now, it's always best to consume nutrients as food where you can. Sometimes, if you're really depleted in any of these nutrients, then I will prescribe a really great therapeutic magnesium. Again, being conscious of what magnesiums are on the shelf in the chemists and the supermarkets. There are different forms of magnesium. Some are for constipation, some are for sleep. So you want to make sure you know what form of magnesium you are getting. and also if it's at a therapeutic dose. And is there anything else in that magnesium powder or tablet, extra excipients and stuff that doesn't need to be there? So just be aware that if you do need magnesium, it is probably better to get some advice from a naturopath. Okay, so foods, increasing magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, which you can throw into a smoothie, nuts and seeds, which you can throw into a smoothie, legumes, cacao. I love cacao. You can make a beautiful banana cacao smoothie. Throw some spinach leaves in there. Throw some frozen cauliflower in there, which sounds gross but tastes like nothing. Some avocado, maybe some hemp seeds, and you've got a really beautiful meal. You some protein powder as well, so you've got your protein, and then you've got your protein, your healthy fats. I would throw in some LSA for some fiber. And you've got a beautiful, really nice chocolatey banana smoothie that you can drink. The cauliflower is really great for supporting your liver detoxification. So getting rid of any extra estrogen that we don't need because estrogen is detoxified through the liver. So you can really, get excited and work with food to support your symptoms and supporting that fatigue and improving your energy and vitality. And that's why I love smoothies because you can throw so much into them. They can be quite nutritious, but also be aware that it's not really good to have cold foods in your stomach. So if you are having a smoothie and it's got frozen stuff in it and it's really cold, leaving it for maybe about an hour to warm up before you drink it. Because if we're putting cold stuff into our digestive system, we're slowing it down. And if we've already got issues with our gut health, we don't want to be making it worse. Okay. So these beautiful magnesium-rich foods are going to nourish all of these pathways, and also support that overall resilience in your body. Now, the issue with magnesium is that it has been depleted from our soils, so sometimes you may not be able to just get enough in the foods. And as I spoke about, just be aware that you're not just wasting your money on magnesium from Chemist Warehouse or, the supermarket that isn't being absorbed or isn't being used properly or is something that's not suited for you. Okay, so this archetype, she teaches that energy is cyclical rather than constant. So we have a menstrual cycle. We have the earth has the four seasons cycle. She also has, the day and night cycle. Everything is cyclical, and so are our bodies. And so hormonal shifts, life transitions, and changing rhythms, they're not problems to overcome, but signals to adapt to. So this is a time to connect in with that wise woman archetype and see what she is asking from you. What is your body asking from you in this time? So when our cycles are honored instead of resisted, then energy often becomes more predictable, balanced, and aligned with the body's natural timing. The wise woman is the inner cycle shifter, and it is this time of shifting and changing and cycling for us into that next transition and that next phase of our life. Now, I've popped an affirmation or a journal prompt down there as well, that you can reflect on. My changing body, mind, and soul holds ancient wisdom. Now, tomorrow we are looking at the next archetype, which is the Keeper of Fire. So I hope you have learnt something from today.